Imagine waking up, opening your banking app, and instead of checking and savings, you see one simple button that says, Open Wallet. Inside that wallet is everything. Your cash, your investments, your crypto and stablecoins, your mortgage and car title, your insurance policies, and even your ID and tickets. With one tap, you can move value anywhere in the world in seconds. There are no banking hours, no wire fees, and no middlemen slowing everything down. This is not science fiction. This is the direction that BlackRock, JP Morgan, HSBC, Franklin Templeton, and others are actively building toward right now, and they are betting on tokenized assets, not just stablecoins, to get us there. In this video, you are going to understand why the account-based system you grew up with is being replaced, why tokenization matters far more than most people realize, how fast this shift is truly moving, and what this wall of money narrative actually means for you as an investor. As we go through this, I want you to treat it like a live masterclass. Whenever something clicks for you, share it in the comments so we turn this from a passive watch into an active conversation. Let us begin with the big mental shift that Franklin Templeton's head of innovation, Kaul, keeps repeating. For the last 50 years, we have lived in an account-based world. You have a checking account at one bank, a savings account at another, a brokerage account for stocks, a retirement account for your long-term investments, and maybe an extra account for side projects or other holdings. Every one of these sits on a separate ledger, controlled by a different institution, with its own rules, fees, time delays, and frictions. Now, we are shifting from that account-based world to a wallet-based world. In a wallet-based system, you do not juggle 10 different accounts. You have one cryptographically protected wallet, and inside that wallet live all your assets. Your digital money in the form of cash and stablecoins, your tokenized stocks, bonds, and funds, your digital identity documents, and your digital titles and policies all exist side by side in one place. Stablecoins bring your cash into the wallet-based ecosystem. Tokenized money market funds bring your savings into that same structure, and tokenized stocks and bonds bring your investment portfolios alongside them. It may look like many separate innovations, but they are all part of the same migration. Assets are moving from scattered accounts into unified wallets. This is not just about crypto prices or speculative trading. This is about rebuilding the core infrastructure of global finance. For decades, the plumbing of the financial system has relied on processes that were designed in the 1970s. Yes, we have upgraded hardware, adopted better computing power, and embraced cloud-based services, but the underlying rails for clearing, settlement, and reconciliation are still rooted in that old architecture. Blockchain technology changes this dramatically. Institutions are realizing that public blockchains allow them to cut processing times, obtain near real-time information instead of waiting for end-of-day batches, and enable true the 24th of July 365 markets in a world where business and capital already move globally around the clock. They can combine cash and securities in a single on-chain transaction instead of managing disjointed, slow-moving processes behind the scenes. They can move assets into common holding structures called wallets, which greatly simplify today's complex layers of nested accounts and sub-accounts. That is why you see tokenized funds, tokenized treasuries, early experiments from market utilities like the DTCC, and platforms launching tokenized securities and tokenized ETFs. These developments are not random hype cycles, they are the new pipes being laid beneath the entire financial system. Sandy makes an even bolder point. She argues that blockchain protocols are on their way to becoming the future utilities for the entire world. Think about how you do not run your own power grid, telecom network, or global payment network. In the same way, she believes that in 10 to 20 years, no serious organization will keep its core books and records on isolated, internal systems. Instead, corporate ledgers, asset registries, and ownership records will increasingly live on public blockchains. That has a powerful implication for you. If the future is operated out of cryptographically protected wallets, then every asset in those wallets will either be a natively digital asset, like XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and others, or a tokenized real-world asset such as bonds, stocks, funds, rights, or property interests. Once everything is tokenized and sits in wallets, assets become interoperable and co-mingled by design. They can settle instantly rather than over days. They can be transferred easily, used as collateral, placed in liquidity pools, or deployed in staking structures. Your entire portfolio itself can be represented as a token, which you can stake, borrow against, or fractionalize as needed. This is a transition from number go up to utility go up, where the real power comes from what you can do with your assets, not just what they are worth on a screen at any given moment. One of the biggest misconceptions is that this transformation will take decades. Many people think this is a 20 or 30-year story and that nothing meaningful happens in the near term. Sandy strongly pushes back on this. She compares today's blockchain moment to the early days of cloud computing in finance. At first, firms insisted they could never move critical systems onto the cloud. They resisted, debated, and delayed. Fast forward, and running on cloud infrastructure has become so normal that we hardly remember those early arguments. She believes we are at that same tipping point with blockchain technology. Her view is that this will not be a slow 10 or 20-year transition. Instead, she expects more progress in the next 5 years than we have seen in the last 50 when it comes to how financial markets are structured and operated. The conditions are lining up. Regulation is gradually providing more clarity than hostility. Major institutions now see tangible yield and efficiency advantages. The cash and liquidity layer via stablecoins is becoming more legitimate, and there is growing acceptance that digital assets deserve a place in portfolios. When you fast forward 5 years in your mind, it is hard to argue that there will be fewer tokenized assets, fewer wallets, or fewer institutions using blockchain rails. The direction of travel is clear, and that is what matters. Now we come to the famous phrase, the wall of money. Right now, the total value of the crypto markets is still tiny compared to the broader universe of traditional assets. Global equities, bonds, real estate, derivatives, private markets, and other financial instruments dwarf crypto in raw size. Sandy highlights that while crypto has grown significantly, we are still only talking about a small number of trillions in a world where there are hundreds of trillions invested in assets that are not yet on crypto rails. If even a modest 10% of that value migrates into crypto and tokenized assets, that alone would multiply the size of this space several times over. But the story does not stop there. Tokenization is not just about moving existing assets onto new rails. It is also about creating brand new asset classes that could not be administered at scale using old infrastructure. Think about income streams from IP rights, fractional ownership of sports teams or clubs, revenue-sharing deals for creators, brands, and communities, crowdfunding real-world infrastructure, and other forms of tokenized participation. Sandy talks about seeing billions of brand new assets that never existed before, brought on-chain precisely because blockchain technology removes operational friction. When you add all of that up, it becomes nearly impossible to put a neat dollar figure on the long-term potential. At some point, you are not just dealing in trillions, you are dealing in quadrillions of represented value. Within this broader narrative, the XRP ledger is one of the public chains that constantly appears in institutional conversations. It is a public blockchain designed for fast, low-cost value transfer, long discussed in the context of cross-border payments, liquidity, and settlement. Its design as a neutral bridge ledger makes it a natural candidate whenever the discussion turns to moving money across borders, settling tokenized assets, or providing liquidity between different rails. Whether you are focused on XRP, Ethereum, Solana, or any other infrastructure chain, the key is the same. If you believe in a wallet-based world with tokenized real-world assets and public blockchains serving as global utilities, then it makes sense to understand which ledgers are realistically positioned to support that vision. So how do you position yourself without losing your mind in the short-term noise? The starting point is aggressive education. Learn tokenization as a concept, not just token prices. Understand how wallets actually work and why institutions are so focused on them. Listen to how regulators and asset managers talk about this shift, not just influencers on social media. Then begin to think in systems rather than isolated coins. Ask which networks really look like infrastructure, and which assets actually solve real-world problems in a wallet-based, tokenized future. Decide on your time horizon honestly. If your horizon is a few days, you are trading, and your strategy should reflect that. If your horizon is 3 to 10 years, you are positioning for an entire system migration, and you should think like a builder or long-term owner, not a day trader. Commit to controlling your emotions. When prices drop, ask whether the long-term thesis has changed. When prices rise, ask whether you are chasing buzz or executing your plan. Finally, plan your future actions in advance. Think now about what you will do if this space experiences a 2, 5, or 10 times expansion. Will you cash out, diversify, reinvest, or build something on top of these rails? Do not wait for that moment to arrive before deciding. Most people will only understand what happened after the new system is already in place. You are choosing to pay attention while the change is still underway. The legacy rails of finance are being replaced in real time. If this breakdown helps you see the bigger picture of tokenization and the shift from accounts to wallets, support content like this so more people can access it and join the discussion. Then, take the next step for yourself. Decide how you are going to learn, how you are going to position, and how you are going to behave over the next 5 to 10 years as this transformation accelerates. Stay patient, stay informed, and be intentional about where you stand in this new wallet-based world.